Will businesses become more purpose-driven in the future? Is this what people actually want? And if so, then what barriers might exist? These are the next set of questions that I asked interviewees in my deep dive into the topic of purpose-driven businesses. So firstly, straight up, the vast majority of people I interviewed, around 90% or so, felt that yes, people were becoming more aware of their impact in the world, and that as a result, more and more businesses were becoming purpose-driven to follow suit. I did some further desktop research, and I did find a few data points that seemed to back up this sentiment. For example, there was a 2019 study in the States that found 70% of consumers wanted to know what the businesses that they support were doing in terms of addressing social and environmental issues. Closer to home, in Australia, 34% of people are willing to go the extra mile to buy sustainable products. And the market for healthy and sustainable goods rose from $12 billion to $26 billion over the past 10 years or so. Looking at the younger generation, there was also a 2019 study conducted by Nielsen that showed that 73% of millennials are willing to spend more on products that they considered sustainable. So given all of that, what might be stopping us? What are some of the barriers that might be preventing businesses from becoming more purpose-driven? The most commonly cited barrier was existing business structures that focused on profit above all else, especially in publicly listed companies. Now, to be very specific, the barrier that people identified wasn't to do with just business or just profit, like both of those things are fine. It was the singular focus on profit at the exclusion of everything else that was the barrier to change. The second most cited barrier was leadership, at or near the very top. Many respondents felt that genuine change really had to come from the senior leadership. That if a CEO wasn't that passionate about becoming purpose-driven, then no one else will follow suit as passionately either. Now, many people did empathize a bit with leaders, that they felt that some leaders were often at the mercy of board members or shareholders or investors. But on the other hand, other people felt that this is where a leader can really be courageous and shine through, and to bring stakeholders on the journey with them. Paul Polman, the former CEO of Unilever, was frequently cited as an example of this, of someone who brought people on the journey towards becoming more sustainable. Looking down from the leaders, a third but quite interesting barrier that was shared was to do with the middle of the organization. So the staff, middle management, team leaders, etc. That this group of people were often not empowered to become purpose-driven. That you might have businesses where the leadership talk about purpose, but everyone in the middle is actually measured by productivity and profit, not how much they've contributed to becoming purpose-driven. And finally, turning the spotlight away from businesses, the majority of people I interviewed felt that actually the biggest barrier to change, to becoming more purpose-driven, was us, the individuals, the consumers, the general public, that most of us talk the talk, but not necessarily walk the walk. And sadly, I did find some statistics that seem to bear this out. So in 2017, there was a survey conducted in the States that found that 88% of people agreed that yes, recycling was a good thing for the environment. However, 61% of people would choose comfort and convenience over the effort needed to recycle, and only 35% of people actively recycled on a regular basis. Put it a different way, look to the person on your left and now to your right. All three of you think that recycling is good, but only one of you will actually recycle, and the other two are just saying that they think it's good to recycle. And so, back over to you. What do you think? Do you think that there will be more purpose-driven businesses in the future? And if so, then what other barriers might be in place that might be preventing us from getting there? As always, love your thoughts in the comments below.